What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
We are wrapping up a week here on My Cowboys Family. Unfortunately,
that's right.
The first week of the offseason for us. We're going to talk about accountability today. What this man in the middle of the screen here, Jimmy Johnson, what he portrays. But we also have to celebrate something here, personal here on the channel itself, on YouTube, on our little channel here.
Yeah, the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
6.5 plus years representing that star of everything here on MCF, My Cowboys Family. And yes, 30,000 subscribers strong, 30,000 family members. Guys, we cannot do this without you all. And never in our wildest dreams did we think we'll get there. We'll talk about that side of things, I'm sure, as we get a little more festive throughout the stream. But we're going to talk about Cowboy football here tonight. Some playoffs, unfortunately, not involving us. But how it affects us and our history, I guess you can say. And, and some drought info, I guess you can add into that as well. But we're going to have that more. We're going to have the cameras on and off tonight. As we, yes, the first week of the offseason of 2024. But in a way, I guess, the good part of things, like you said, the highest of highs, lowest of lows, but 30,000, family members here, subscribers, and beyond, actually 30,000, over 30,100 people already part of the family. So appreciate every single one of you guys here. And, hey, let's celebrate it here. At least we have something to celebrate on this channel here after a, very big, a very, very heavy up and down season. Let's put it that way, ending with big downs. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, the big issue behind this team, I believe, outside of the players or this guy or that guy, the coaches or front office, is everyone. We'll discuss it. Jimmy knows.
Of course. And, as we get rolling here tonight, guys, celebrating, kicking back, relaxing, of course, talking about, a little bit of Cowboy info and news and updates and things like that. No, I'm just saying,
Well, we got some good info, trust me. But tonight's the last night of the week. For these people here repping that, or maybe not, we'll see. Because again, at the end of the week, after a full week, we got some new people to crown or some old people to crown as our champions on the board starting tomorrow. But for tonight, let's give it up to Mr. Snug X, who's not just the sponsor of the week, took that over last week and repping it here with us, but also he's the Cash App King for 4 straight weeks. Will it be 5? We'll find out tonight. Actually, tonight's the night. So, but right now, we'll give you the updates on everything in a minute. Of course, you got Mark Hovsepian repping that Robert Newhouse 44 points. It goes some drops pre-stream. We'll talk about it in a minute. Much love to the man from Hawaii, Mark Hovsepian. And then, of course, the gifting membership champion of last week, Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Woo. Appreciate him. By the way, Skeptical Fan, pre-stream, he dropped a thanks drop in the thanks area. With the thanks button, I guess, on yesterday's video, and gave us a shout out. Now, I'm going to tell you what he said now. He said, MCF, I give you props for you and MCW staying with this trash playoff team. So a lot of anger out there, a lot of skepticalness. I understand 100% where skeptical's coming from. It is a tough thing. He's going to step back for a little bit, but, still going to, of course, do his thing here with us at MCF, and still, he's repping that star for everything. So you need a little breather sometimes. I feel you. Much love to Skeptical Fan repping it in the thanks button side of things. We got the Cash App side of things, which currently, actually, the leader in the Cash App is the guy who dropped a $1.77 drop in the GO Cowboys. It is the man, Jason Renfro. So he's looking to take that crown from Snug X as he's leading on that side of things. Mark Hovsepian got 44 points on the stream boss. But Mark Hovsepian has the overall lead right now on the board. And it's a little bit of a lead, although it's getting closer and closer. I'll explain in a minute. Also the gifting champion, of course, Skeptical Fan. Right now, JD from DC. He will take the crown down. He's dropped 5 on it. 5 gifted memberships this week. So he's currently in the lead to try to take that top spot. We'll see what happens as tonight unfurls. And we see who takes over some of these spots or stays in there and takes the crowns. Either way, Mark Hovsepian, overall leader. Jason Renfro, the Cash App leader. And we got, of course, JD from DC, the current gifting membership leader. But we did have I said Jason Renfro pre-stream, Skeptical Fan pre-stream, and we had a double huge drop from the big man, Big D, in the place to be. He dropped a thanks $20 holler, Tony Pollard style, with the our previous video yesterday on thanks button. So he started off with 20 on it, and then he dropped another basically a pre-stream $20 holler, which took Marco Seppian from 44 points from 64 points down to 44 points. But yes, much love to Big D, who moves into second place on the overall board, the only guy behind Marco Seppian right now that can catch him, it looks like. I mean, anybody can catch him at any moment, but right now, the man who's in second place, jumping over JD from DC and others, it's Big D. Much love to him. What did he say, baby, with his little drop there? A little $20 Tony Pollard holler.
He said, I'm ready for drinks.
Uh-oh. Oh, did not know who said that. And I will also let you know what we're talking about. You see the bottom right of your screen. Because it is a celebratory stream tonight, guys. And we are celebrating a big deal for us. 30,000. We never thought we'd get to 3,000. 30,000 people here. So, again, much love. He did drop, when he dropped that $20 thanks earlier, he said 2 words. Yo, Cowboys.
You know it.
So much love to Big D in the place to be. Repping it here with us on MCF. Now, we gave all the shout-outs on that side of things. I do want to give the shout-outs for those in the star level membership, and also, a special thing coming around the corner here. But baby, there's some ways to drop the love here. We just talked about the thanks button. There's a super chat option, which you saw Big D drop. Thanks button from Big D and Skeptical Fan. Jason Renfro did drop a Cash App, but we'll get to that in a minute. You also got jumping in the membership side of things, like Bobby Bottles did yesterday on his own, and then, of course, gifting memberships, another option to help out the channel. All these ways we are adding into the shot glass, I guess you can say, to the shot count here.
Yes.
But we also have 4 other ways that includes in the shot count, and also specifically, if you want to catch SnugX or Jason Renfro in the Cash App, there's these 4 other ways to kind of jump into this. On top of course, it goes on the overall numbers, of course, as well.
We have the Cash App, money sign, MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
Yes, and like I said, it's time to give those nightly shout-outs, the star level and over everything level. And, they get them every single night here on MyCowboysFamily. Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Pocht, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, and De Lunatic. Yes, thank you guys. In the star level, really right now, star level right now, not the over everything level, but it changes all the time. You never know, right? So thank you guys on that side of things. And those names I just shouted out, people can drop off of that. People can add into that. But if you're in it next weekend, we'll be having our star level, over everything, star level, both those levels, monthly jersey raffle going on next weekend. So if you're in the star level or over everything level, you will be in this raffle where you can win a sewn and stitched jersey, Cowboy Mosh style, authentic like. Again, there's about 30 to 40 different players we can choose from. So it's not just the current players. It's old school. It's Hall of Famers. I know right now we're a little sour on the newer players. Either way, a lot of choices. Much love to Cowboy Mosh. And again, this will be next week. So if you want to sneak into that in time and try to get in the star level upgrade or jump in it, star level, over everything level, and its perks, much love to you guys and good luck. But we also have to talk about who's in the house here tonight with us and what we're going to do here on MCF, because it is 38,000 subscribers strong. Thank you to all 30,000 plus family members here on My Cowboys Family. As you can see, we have our little bobblehead night here. But this is an extra celebratory. This is our first, the first pictures we used. This is from Skeptical Fan, actually, but our first pictures we used when we started doing this new style thing here, middle of the year. And this was our first ones, just to play around with it. So why not? Let's just go back to old school here. This 2023 old school, since we're in 2024 officially now. Who's in the house, baby, tonight? And then we'll tell you guys what we're going to do when it comes to these shots. We're already 0-2, and we're 17 away from another shot. We'll explain in a minute. You can hit that exclamation point shots, and you'll know how it goes down. But I also want to shout out those that are currently in the house ready to talk some Cowboy football. Right here. On My Cowboys Family, right here at MCF with MCW.
Here we go. We have Fuego in the house, bringing the heat. C. Bass, much love to you. Hey. You know why he's here.
Let us know. Let us know when you're ready to jump on.
Yeah, Pioneer representing. Mike Aldana, what's up? Brendan James, 2024. We have Bad Intentions. Donnie Hayes, what's up? House Nelson in the house. James Herb representing. Matt Batten, thanks for coming through. And yeah, I'm sure we can talk about our Super Bowl predictions now that we're narrowing it down a little bit more.
Down to 4.
The man himself, the lunatic, thanks for being here. Mike
right.
Aldana, what's up? We have Asmodeus in the house. Let me see. Just want to make sure I'm giving everybody the proper shout outs. Sarah Small representing. Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett. Hustle Daily 420. We have Jason Renfro in the house. Devontae Alvarez, what's up? Scrolling back. Of course, the man Big D himself. McLovin coming through saying hello and hi. Stephen White, what's up? Take it easy. Let me see. I think, it's about as far back as I can go, at least on my side. So,
Freedom
Caroline
First.
Roan, hello. Oh, Freedom First. Was he first?
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
Today. And others in the house. Appreciate you all. And let's start it off. Let's explain what we're doing here, baby. Because, again, celebratory little day here.
Eric Wallace.
Yes, Eric Wallace in the house. Celebratory little evening, I guess. It is a work day tomorrow, a regular day. So we are going. This is a mini celebration. But it's not a mini reason. It's 38,000 subscribers plus, and we're loving this. We appreciate you guys. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. Almost like I can't believe the fact that the Cowboys got embarrassed in that wild card game against the Packers. But the other level of things, the other side of things. Either way, guys, yes, every $20 that's totaled up in here right now. We got 2 20s from Big D, which puts us at 2 shots in. But then you got a little bit of love from Skeptical Fan with that pre-stream thanks. And then you got Jason Renfro said, hold on, not just $1.77, but another $1 on there to drop it down to 16 away from a shot. He said, let's get that shot count up. Go Cowboys. Much love to Jason Renfro. Yes, the shot count goes now. It trickles down a number here to 16. Much love to Jason Renfro with that dollar cash app. And hey, we'll be taking double shots here in a minute if we don't get this first shot in, which we are going to do here. I'm going to try to do the news. It's going to be a little tougher than usual. Doing the news while, a little tipsy maybe. A little shots in there.
I know. We probably got to get the first 2 we owe.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get that right off the top. I want to make sure that we explain we're gonna roll that way because usually I do the $10 shots.
Yeah.
But the wife here, she don't do those shots, and I don't really do shots either.
Look,
but I can handle it more,
what
right? What
happens after dark is one thing. What happens here?
Yeah, is another thing. With the wife, it's always 20. With on after dark is 10 for those that know. But it's a celebratory thing. We just kind of we have a little bit of vodka left to buy our new bottle. So maybe you guys will help us knock it out as well. We'll see. But either way.
Yeah, basically every $20, bam, is a shot. Like you said, we already have 2 already kind of loaded up. Thanks to you guys, we are 16 away from the next one, shot number 3. So,
and we're gonna bring some intensity today. Trust me, I can feel it already. Not just with the topics, but with the shots combo.
And trust me, it is slightly bittersweet here as well. House
it's not.
We're hoping to have 30K while celebrating our. We were hoping our way to the NFC Championship.
Right now we've been going to the NFC Championship. I think it would be Dallas at San Francisco if we had handled our business as we hit 30K.
Exactly.
We gotta talk about a negative here tonight, unfortunately, and it's something that I want to analyze. I'm here about happy-go-lucky, all positivity because it's the Cowboys. We're gonna be real about it, but there's a thing that's missing here. That's accountability when it comes to our Cowboys. One thing Jimmy Johnson has been, he's the king of this since the beginning of being with the Cowboys, and nobody's really taken that mantle since he's been gone.
Yeah, and especially seeing the variety of teams that, were fighting today in the playoffs, like, no team just kind of laid down and just took it, right? Like, we saw some serious battles this weekend. And
accountability.
And accountability, yes.
So, as we flick this on, guys, again, in case you didn't know, I'll say it right now, the Kansas City Chiefs did end up winning today, beating the Bills in an incredible battle there. They're going to play the Baltimore Ravens 3 p.m. Eastern on CBS next Sunday. And then the Lions, even though they were up by a little bit, they did hold off the Buccaneers. Close game in the beginning into the third quarter. And then they pulled away a little bit. Bucs came back, had a chance. They picked them at the end. I'll explain what happened in a minute. But the Lions, who are the third seed, are advancing to play at San Francisco, the first seed, next weekend, 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Again, first seed, Baltimore Ravens, first seed, San Francisco 49ers, they're both playing the third seed. So, we were the second seed, by the way, in case you guys were wondering.
It's going to be really interesting to see the outcome of those games. And, of course, everyone's kind of chatting in the chat. Let me know your Super Bowl matchup, as far as, like, what you think is going to happen.
What's your hope
what you'd
or
like
thoughts,
to
baby?
see. I mean, I personally said it in the chat already. Ravens-Lions. That, to me, would be the ideal Super Bowl matchup.
That's what I would want to see.
And the most
I think most people want to see that, right?
Super Bowl, right? Pretty much anything outside of that would be a shit type of situation. I would
take this Kansas City Chiefs. I just can't. There's one team that cannot win.
The Niners.
That's the fucking Niners.
Exactly.
So that's
as far as like who I actually think is going to make it there.
Yeah, I think it'd be Niners and Ravens. Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to take it.
It seems like Ravens and Niners, and the Ravens win. Out of all of this, it still feels like the Ravens are going to kind of win this all. But, of course, we'll see. Nothing's guaranteed in football, as we have seen ourselves. So, as Modi said, I'm not watching any of that shit. So, we kind of
have to watch it to keep up with it for the channel. But, yeah, we're like you. I mean, it's the Cowboys are out, right? I mean, at this point...
It feels.
Honestly, I just want the Niners out.
It feels
That's
like I'm
all
pouring, salt and lemon juice into an open wound. Like it's. I don't necessarily want to, but I have to. I have to, right? It just reminds me how close we were. Anyway, bad intentions,
or how far we are, honestly.
And yeah, trust me, we'll be talking about those unfortunate streaks, right? House Nelson said Super Bowl is fake news. NFC East champs is my comfort zone.
That's what they made it. That's what they're making this fan base go through here. I'll be honest. Now, baby.
See, I'm seeing lots of Chiefs and Niners. Niners and Ravens, said Captain America. Chiefs and Niners, Brandon James.
Chiefs are a hard team to overlook.
Jason Harper said Chiefs and Lions.
They're just so good. Chiefs they're just damn good. That's how good they are, right? So, got to give them credit that they are a true championship team. 6 years in a row in the AFC Championship. I mean, it's insane. You got to give them credit. They knocked the Bills out, I think, 3 out of 4 times in the last 4 years. So from the playoffs, I mean, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're the top team in the sense of, we had the Cowboys in the 90s. You have the Patriots in the next 2 decades. Right. And right now, it's the Chiefs, let's be honest. So it is what it is. Now, baby, on our side of things, we'll talk more about this and BS some more and shoot the shit some more. But, not much time. We want to keep it going here. Again, tomorrow's a work day. I'm taking a half day. The wife is working from home. Yes. So we can handle a couple shots tonight. And we actually, put it on the cam right here. Repping the MCF 30K. So I have to wear the MCF shirt. Rep that star, of course, over everything, baby. You got the Cowboy colors. Repping that star over everything. And the sweater
because it's actually cold in here. And I'm not going to wear my robe on my
it's cold. It's like 35 degrees here in Florida. So we're loving it, So, hey, I love it.
I was going to say, speak for yourself. I love it. Please.
So, guys, 30,000 in 6.5 years. I remember that when we had I remember we hit the first 1,000. It took 6 months. It was like July 1st to like December 30th or something like this, and we had our first 1,000. We're at 30,000, baby. Back to our 30,000 subscriber special count there, and let me make sure. I mean, any quick comments as I get everything ready here, baby?
Let me see. House Nelson said, "Careful not to choke out of those Dallas shot glasses." Sorry, we'll leave that to the team.
That's a good
Kenzie
one.
Vance, what's up? Much love. Yeah, guys. Off the top, just saying because I was seeing a few comments saying that Stephon Diggs isn't returning to the Bills. Guys, I'm just saying. There's
a lot of talk out there about his displeasure. He's $31 million cap hit, guys, for the Bills. I don't think anybody's going to trade for him. Unless they give up like a bunch of draft picks we don't have. Keep that in mind, guys. Stephon Diggs maybe he's unhappy. Maybe they'll find a way out of it. Let's not go cowboy delusional again, thinking for all those big names because that you guys know already.
Doesn't work that way.
Jerry Jones don't give a flying fuck about a name. He only cares about himself, that money, and how he can make more off the brand. That's all Jerry Jones cares. So, no, I don't care about Trayvon Diggs. I don't care about Stephon Diggs. They're not going to bring him back and reunite him. If it ever gets to that point, we'll talk about it. But let's not get delusional, Cowboy fans. Let's stay grounded. And yes, the Chiefs did beat the Bills in a thrilling game. And they're going to play the Ravens for the AFC title, like we said earlier. Travis Kelce caught 2 touchdowns, and his girl is up there celebrating. So was his brother. up there celebrating. Check out those shorts if you missed them. But he caught 2 touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs advanced to their 6th straight AFC Championship game with that 27-24 victory over the Bills. Isaiah Pacheco, their running back, 7th-round running back, right, from a couple years back, scored the go-ahead touchdown on a 4-yard run 40 seconds into the 4th quarter. I'll explain here in a minute.
Timothy Noble, thank you for summing it up. Ooh. Jason Renfro came through as well with a dollar holler and a Go Cowboys. Thank you, Jason.
Slowly but surely, he's chopping us down a little bit here. He dropped another one, baby, by the way, in the Cash app. We got you. We're down to 13 now on the shot clock, so to speak, here. Put it to 13. There you go. Before you're up again, baby. So, yes, we got Mr. Jason Rum. We got you, Jason. And, again, thank you for the dollar trickles coming through here, as now we're at 13. Now, Isaiah Pacheco, again, their running back, scored on a 4-yard run 40 seconds into the 4th quarter to take the lead. And they traded the lead 5 times in this game. The Chiefs clinched the win, running out the clock after Tyler Bass, the kicker for the Buffalo Bills, kicked a 44-yard field goal attempt and went wide right. That's the biggest. This is the worst thing you could say to a Buffalo Bill fan. Wide right.
Apparently.
The Giants game in the Super Bowl, yeah, wide right. Norwood. It wasn't Norwood, yeah. So anyways, that was 143 left in the game, and like 2 plays later, got a first down. That was the end of the game. The defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs, now 13-6, including playoffs, move on to play at Baltimore, the 1st seed, facing Lamar Jackson, top-seeded Ravens. They beat Houston yesterday, 34-10. Kansas City's 0-1. They haven't won in the playoffs against the Ravens, following a 30-7 loss in the 2010 wild card round, a long time ago, right? Baltimore defeated Kansas City then 36-35 in their most recent regular season matchup of Week 2 in the 2021 season. That's the last time they actually played each other. So in the playoffs, it was in 2010. 2021 was the last time they played each other, and again, Baltimore won by 36-35. Kansas City never has lost in the divisional round since Patrick Mahomes has taken over as a starter in 2018. The Chiefs have now won 5 consecutive playoff games since their loss 27-24 overtime loss to the Cincinnati Bengals and Burrow in the AFC Championship game during the 2021 season. That's how dominant these effing Chiefs have been. Now, on the other side of things, we got the Lions and the Buccaneers. The Lions held off the Bucs to set up the NFC title game in San Francisco against the Niners. I'll get to that in a minute. First, Dustin Roberts in the house, dropping that J. Lou $2 holler. J. Lou for now. Tony Pollard for now. These numbers will change because I don't know if these guys will be back. But much love, Dustin and the rest of the family here. 30,000 strong, back in the house.
Ooh.
And that, by the way, takes a shot count to a Micah Parsons $11 holler, right? That would get us right to the wife and myself both taking a shot at the same time. What did Dustin Roberts say as he takes Marco Seppian down to a $20 Tony Pollard number right there on the stream box?
We need a running back, linebacker, offensive tackle, and depth. Run it back. Yeah, not in that particular order, obviously, but yes, those are 4, I think, easy draft picks that we can predict the Cowboys making as far as personnel, right? We're definitely going to pick up some kind of running back, some kind of offensive lineman, some kind of linebacker, and, depth, I'm hoping at the O-line, just considering what this draft has, up ahead of us. But knowing the Cowboys, it'll be some kind of mixture of undrafted guys, along with probably a high-value O-line pick. The
Will McClay way, which is he does well when they let him do his thing. But, next year, baby, you got this done next year, but 2024, this draft, we don't have that many draft picks. And the draft picks we will get, compensatory ones, are going to be like 6th and 7th rounders. So we already have a subpar drafting position. So we're basically just like, again, we are suffering from success in the worst possible way because we do just good enough, like I've said before, to not just keep us from blowing up our team, but we're never really in a position to get a more quality draft pick. We always end up with these, super later first round, picks. So we just end up in the same position as before where we can't really afford to move forward or move on, but we're not really staying where we're at either. Like, I don't know. Just very bizarre. Back to you, baby. Sorry. No.
I want to make sure we stay on track here.
Of course. And again, big shout out to Jason with the drops, Dustin with the drops, Big D with the drops. we'll be taking our shots here, or my shot here shortly. Like I said, 11 away from another one.
Yeah, Mike Adnana said it. We don't have a lot of draft capital anyways.
Exactly. That's the thing. We just can't go left and right. Let's go trade some draft picks to get Stephon Diggs. And then pay him $30 million. It ain't gonna happen. Trust me, guys. It's not going to happen. Now, what is going to happen? What did happen? Unfortunately, the Lions are playing at home in our spot as the 3rd seed, playing at home against the Buccaneers, and they got enough from their team at home to win and play against the Niners next Sunday afternoon, I guess. Jared Goff threw 2 touchdown passes, and the Lions beat the Bucs 31-23 by 8 in the divisional round playoff game on Sunday. This is a long-suffering franchise. Remember that, guys, that basically got into the NFC Championship game for the first time in 32 years. Again, it's just us, Washington, and them. And now it's just us in Washington. So, again, this is the second time in their franchise history that they've gone to the conference championship. And, again, this is only 2 times since, once in 1991 and once now. That's it for them. Yeah. The Lions are now 14-5 when you count playoffs. They won 2 playoff games in a season for the first time since 1957. This is the last year they won the NFL title, a championship game, when there was like 10 teams in the league. They will play at San Francisco, NFC's top seed, number 1 seed, next Sunday for a spot in the Super Bowl, a game they've never played in. They played in championship games in the 50s and 40s and 30s. There was 10 teams then. But never in the modern era have they ever played in a Super Bowl. So Jahmyr Gibbs, rookie, fantastic running back, ran through a huge hole for a tie-breaking 31-yard touchdown early in the 4th quarter. I'm telling you, it was tied at that point. They broke it open a little bit there. Goff made it a 2-touchdown lead when he connected with Amon-Ra St. Brown, who did a little make fun of Baker Mayfield dance on a 9-yard score with 6:22 left. They did score, went for 2, they missed, and then they got the ball back, a couple plays, threw a pick, and that was it. What does this mean, though, when it comes to that? Listen to this team. Talk about drafting properly. I'll tell you in a minute. As Jason Renfro said, he says, hold on, I'm going to drop 2 properly. Jason Renfro dropping that $2 holler. It means we're like a turpentine away. Some people want to say a Romo shot away. Right now we're down to 9 on that board, and that means, baby, we're 9 away for your shot, so to speak. So, much love, Jason Renfro. What did he say?
He said, the Bills lose again the way that they lost the Super Bowl. Wide right.
Yep, against the Giants. I'll never forget that one.
Those words, are give them PTSD flashbacks.
Yeah, that's the most offensive words you can say in Buffalo. The worst. So, listen to this, baby. The Lions. Their leading rusher this year is Jahmyr Gibbs, their rookie. Their leading receiver is Sam Laporta, a rookie, tight end. Their leading tackler is Brian Branch, also a rookie. Their 3 rookies are leading their team in some very important categories. Different than our rookies that we had. I'll explain in a minute. But first, Big D putting that 20 and taking over the stream, boss, baby.
Rocking
right there.
It out. The Big D said, go Cowboys. Woo! And if I'm not mistaken, that means...
It means go
we both
MCW. Yes, we are owing a shot each. After I get through the playoff stuff, the current playoff stuff, we'll take our shots, I promise. And we're still 9 away from me taking another one.
That's right.
So we'll see what happens. We might be finishing this bottle off quicker than I thought. Much love to Big D and Jason Renfro and everyone else who's dropped the love. Dustin Roberts, skeptical fan. Go Cowboys. So we'll get to the shots in a minute. Big D still trailing Marco Seppian, but I'll have to do some calculations, but he ain't far behind. So, again, look at their rookies they got for the Detroit Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs, first-round pick, 12th overall. Jack Campbell, all right, I think he's their linebacker, first-round pick, 18th overall. Sam Laporta, second-round pick, 34th pick overall. And Brian Branch, second-round pick, 45th overall. I'm just saying. They really cleaned up with their top 4 picks, right? Who were our picks, baby? Do you remember who our picks were? Our top 3 picks. How about that? In the first 3 rounds, we're talking about 2 rounds for them.
I mean, we got Mozzie
Smith with that first pick.
All right, we got
Schoonmaker in the second round.
And then it was the guy who got hurt, Overshown.
Yep, boom.
Marvin Overshown. There we go.
That's how we did, up to pick 90. They went up to pick 45, and they just cleaned house. Now, I will admit, we only had 1 pick. And again, these are high-level draft picks that they hit on all of them. And all these picks that they hit on were, 12th, 18th, 34th, and 45th. We only had 1 in that group. One pick, and that was Mozzie.
Yeah.
And the other 2 that we have are outside of that 45th pick, right? They had a lot of picks. They built their team quick, made the right moves. And you can see how we failed on the moves this year.
It's more about the aggressiveness. Like, they didn't just sit there, get all these, explosive guys, and then twiddle their thumbs and say, like, oh, we're just going to sit here and watch their best years go by.
They got them in there. They moved them in there. But also, remember, they made sure they logged in there some draft picks. Getting rid of, making their moves of the trades that they've made. They lost guys, they added guys, and they added a lot of draft picks. A lot of draft capital room what they had. And I thought that was a good idea for them because last year they weren't bad, and this year they really loaded up and did some crazy stuff. So again, the result, let me just go this way. That's the rookie talk there with them and ours. But the result of this win by the Lions, the Cowboys have the second longest drought in the NFC in terms of conference championship game appearances. The Washington Commanders, their franchise, hold the longest currently. Last appearing as Detroit, was there in 1991. Actually, they both played each other, and Washington went to the Super Bowl and won. But that's a lot. That was Barry Sanders. That was the only year they made it to that far. They beat us, then they lost to Washington.
Yeah, and they never got to that point.
Right, and neither did Washington. Neither team until the Lions today. The Cowboys last appeared in a conference championship game in 1995-96 season. So we won. Of course, we won our last playoff games there in 96 in the technical year, but it was a 95 season. And the last time we appeared was in the 95 season when it came to the conference championship. The Cowboys are again in a place all by ourselves, along with the Washington Commanders. I mean, that's with I don't want to say Washington franchise, or the Redskins, the Washington football team, and now the Commanders. That's not very commanding of us. Let me put it that way. That's pretty despicable that we're right now rolling with Washington. In the bottom of the barrel here, Much love to Jason Renfro. Now is dropping us to a $7 holler away from things. Big D goes to 98 points. What did Jason say with that $2 drop?
It is a wide right curse for the Bills. Yeah, again,
their curse still
maybe
going.
Maybe they should just gone for 2.
Yeah, their curse is
I'm sure it was a field goal.
Yeah, field goal. But it was their curse continues over there, right, Jason? I hear you, man. They don't want to hear no wide right anymore. But when it comes to Detroit, they got to still overcome one last hurdle to break their curse of never even making a Super Bowl. So, but again, I'm talking about the Cowboys now. So, Cowboys and the Washington, we made it in 95. Washington made it in 91 in the NFC with the two most pitiful teams when it comes to making it to a conference championship or beyond that. But now Detroit's back in, so, they broke that streak, the conference championship appearance streak. But the Lions, the Commanders, and the Cowboys, everyone else, except for those three teams, not only have made it, but have made it multiple times. Like the Lions have only made it once since 91. But Washington hasn't made it. We haven't made it since 95. They haven't made it since 91. And every other team in the NFC has made the NFC Conference Championship at least 2 times or more. Everyone. The Cardinals made it 2 times or more.
Like, we can't even make it past the divisional rounds.
Yeah. That's how bad it's been for 28 motherfucking years. So, what do the Commanders and the Cowboys have in common, more or less? The two owners, Jerry Jones, who's still there, and Daniel Snyder, who's not there anymore. But these are the owners of disaster when it comes to winning. Not making money for Jerry Jones and Snyder for being a fucking asshole. But my point is that that's who Jerry Jones is right now side by side with. The Commanders, Daniel Snyder, and the majority of these last 28 years. So, and if you look at the current owner, right now, the current owner, NFL owner, that has the longest drought of having their team appear in the NFC Championship game, there's only one guy, one owner, currently, that hasn't appeared in the NFC Championship game. That's Jerry Jones. Again, I would say only. I'd say the longest drought because Washington has new ownership. So they've only they've only been there 1 year. Jerry Jones has been there the last 28 years, not winning a goddamn thing. So, yeah. You guys feel me? Jerry Jones is one of the key issues here, but we knew this already. Jared Goff, as we're talking about the Lions, he helped lead 2 different teams, the Rams and the Lions, to NFC Championship games before the Cowboys could make it there ourselves. Dan Campbell, former Cowboy. Aaron Glenn, former Cowboy, defensive coordinator. Both were players with the Cowboys when the NFC Championship drought was already going on for us. They played with us during this drought. And now they're both entering the NFC Conference Championship as coaches in the coaching profession. leading an entirely different team there before the Cowboys even got there ourselves. I can't be any more. I'm sorry, guys. This is horrible. I know. It's supposed to be celebratory-ish for us. It's hard. It's no celebrating when we are, obviously
not doing the things we're supposed to do.
And the Cowboys are screwing themselves here. So home teams in this playoff so far in these playoffs, home teams have won 8 out of the 10 playoff games so far. This playoffs. The only ones that lost were the Dallas Cowboys in the first round. The Bills at least won in the first round, and they're the other ones that lost. Cowboys and Bills are the only ones that lost their home games this playoff. And again, Bills won 1 at least at home. We won fuck shit nothing. It's a crazy stat when you think about it, guys.
We win the regular season awards.
We have the regular season trophy for being undefeated, and we have a 16-game home regular season undefeated streak. But when you get to the playoffs, we're the only team that fucking blew it. We're the only team that couldn't even win. At least the Bills are 500 at home. We're the only team that's 0 at home in the playoffs. 100% in the regular season. In the playoffs, 0. We're zeros. This team is a 0 when it comes to really getting over that hump. So speaking of getting over the hump, time to get over the hump. And let's get a little happier. All right, we talk about the playoffs. We're not in it, and the other teams that aren't in it either, like the fucking Eagles. Fuck Philly. But let's talk a little happiness here. When we look at this, you look at the crying tears of the fuck Philly Eagles.
Well, at least we can enjoy that.
Yeah, I know. I hate having to have some happiness through them because fuck the Eagles. Who are they? But unfortunately, we have no choice. I will say that when it comes to our opponent here in the NFC East, the Eagles, they're having their own fucking issues right now as well. I mean, major issues for them. On their coaching side of things. And let me explain. So, Nick Sirianni, we don't know if he's going to stay or not yet for the Eagles.
It's still not 100% clear what direction, the higher-ups at Eagles HQ are thinking.
But the thing is this. 5 is greater than 1. That's fact number 1. But also, Nick Sirianni today, and it was through Nick Sirianni, I'm assuming they're going to keep him. But remember, they're waiting to see what we do. And we keep it McCarthy. So I think they're going to just follow suit. They always bite us. They're biters. They copycat. But the Eagles coach, not the Eagles organization, the Eagles coach, Nick Sirianni has let go of defensive coordinator Sean Desai, who was demoted earlier in the year with them, lost play calling duties late in the season. So Desai is now going to be in the mix for other defensive coordinator opportunities. Okay, hopefully not in Dallas. The Eagles' senior defensive assistant, another defensive coach, Matt Patricia. We know of him with Belichick. Went to the Lions as a head coach. Not under contract now after the season ended, and plans to explore outside opportunities away from Philly.
It's a good thing Belichick is in need of some coaches, huh?
Exactly. Remember, Sirianni took away the play calling duties from Desai, and he gave them to Patricia in like a very quick kind of hurried situation. Right, in difficult circumstances, running someone else's scheme with a depleted Eagle defensive unit. So again,
not ideal situation.
Yeah, Patricia's going to be another. Like I said, you got it with Desai. He's going to be a top defensive coordinator candidate somewhere. Again, hopefully not with the Cowboys anywhere near us. That's the hope. That's my hope. Anyway, that's the Eagle making fun of moment there. What about our guys? Now we're going Cowboys. Now we're going full Cowboys. Always go full Cowboy. Dan Quinn, what's the fucking deal? Accountability. We're going to talk about accountability as well on the defensive side of things. We really bash the defense as they deserve to be bashed when it comes to, the way the scheme was run in the playoffs against the Packers. But the Seattle Seahawks, they are setting up second interviews with a few of the guys that they brought in already once. And those guys is Dan Quinn one of them? You expect him, right? Panthers defensive coordinator Ejiro Evero, he's one of the guys. The Raiders defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham. These are for head coaching spots here. Giants offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka. Rams defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris. And Cowboys defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn. All right? Again, there's supposedly a couple others as well, but it's going to be a very thorough process in Seattle is what it sounds like. So Dan Quinn, is he going to stay in Dallas? Is he going to go out there and, I don't know, right now
in the mix.
Right now he's in the mix out there with Seattle and I'm sure a couple other teams. But again, like you guys know, as we said, as Jerry Jones and everyone said, it's going to be Dan Quinn will be back with the Cowboys if he doesn't take a head coaching job somewhere else. Now, I do want to kind of talk about Dan Quinn for a moment, and actually in reference to some of these playoff games, because the Niners have now reached the NFC Championship game in each of the past 3 years in a row, and four times in the last 5 years. The Niners have been in the NFC Conference Championship, similar to the Chiefs. The Chiefs have like 2 Super Bowls, and the Niners got 0 in that span. But it's more about when you watch what the Niners and, let's say, the Ravens, the top seeds in the NFL on each side. When you see, what's his name, Christian McCaffrey, on that game-winning touchdown last night, he had a block by the center, 49ers center, Jake Brendel. I think he's number 64. He was originally a 2016 Cowboys undrafted free agent from Plano East. And again, just, former Cowboy, found by Will McClay, now starting for the Niners at center. And again, I think he was blocking. He had a great block on that touchdown for McCaffrey against his former UCLA teammate, Kenny Clark, who's been out there dominating. He dominated us. But yet this Brendel guy was able to dominate him when it mattered, and he was a former Cowboy. So again, Kenny Clark was taken down, and he opened up the hole there. Brendel, former Cowboy, undrafted, right, from UCLA. Kenny Clark, 2016 first-round draft pick for Green Bay. So think about the difference there, how Brendel outdid Kenny Clark when it mattered most, and we didn't have that. We didn't have our center there. That center who we did take undrafted. Now, when you look at the highest graded defenders in Saturday's game, again, when it comes to the Niners game, the highest graded defenders from both games, the Ravens and the Ravens win against the Houston Texans, and the Niners beating the Packers. The highest rated guys on defense were Dre Greenlaw, linebacker, and Fred Warner, linebacker. Also, you take a look at the other side of the other conference, the AFC, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, also highly rated. They all these 4 linebackers I just talked about on the top 2 teams did incredible. Some teams do not prioritize interior linebacker play. We're not talking about pass rushing linebackers. Interior run stopping linebacker play. They usually don't like to prioritize that on the salary cap. But just like running backs, it is absolutely matters for contenders in January to have linebackers that play well, to have running backs that you can count on. Now, 4 of the 6 All-Pro linebackers in 2023 were drafted outside of the top 50 picks of the draft. And only 1 of those guys were drafted in the top 15. That tells you there's a lot of linebackers, the abilities, it's not being respected. You can grab some of these guys in the 2nd and 3rd rounds that can be starters as an interior linebacker. I don't know if it was Dan Quinn's call, Will McClay's call, the Jerry Joneses of the world, Jerry and Stephen Jones. If it's their call on the linebacker breakdown, either way, good linebacker play is valuable. Like I said, guys, like running back play is, if in the right circumstances and situations. But again, unless it's extremely talented players at linebacker like Roquan Smith, or extremely talented running backs like McCaffrey, you can find the talent anywhere. Free agency. You can find the talent in the draft. You can find it all over. And Dan Quinn, I don't know if it's fully his fault or not, but as you watch all these top linebackers play, what happened to the Cowboys linebacker plan? We know Marquise Bell and Damone Clark, they did a good job filling in. LVE was all right. He got injured. What makes it odd for me is Dan Quinn, and when he ran with linebackers in Seattle, he ran with Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright when his defenses were the best. Why did we shy away from that? Is that Dan Quinn? Is that Jerry Jones? Was it he didn't want to pay for Bobby Wagner? We know Dan Quinn wanted Bobby Wagner 2 years ago, and I guess $6 million was just too much for Jerry Jones, and that is part of the problem when it comes to accountability of this team. Remember that, guys. So again, when Dan Quinn's defenses are the best, when you get real linebackers inside, not hybrid safeties that play linebacker. No offense to Marquise Bell, had a great year. Not speedier, quicker linebackers to get the outside and not really do the inside work there like Damone Clark. Of course, we always hear about, linebackers don't matter. Running backs don't matter. Of course they matter. Let me just make that clear. But I understand there's also context to that, right? you got to get the right linebackers, the right kind of linebackers. That's number one, right? Which Dan Quinn
Sorry, it reminds me of the right kind of guys.
Well, we need the right kind of linebackers. Dan Quinn probably wanted a certain kind of linebacker, and I'm assuming Jerry Jones didn't want to pay for those linebackers. Also, the linebacker and running back are both dependent positions. What does that mean, dependent positions? If you don't have great protection for a running back and give him blocking, it's not gonna thrive. If you don't have good protection for your linebackers, as in a defensive nose tackle that takes on blockers and takes on double teams, if you don't have a good defensive tackle, your linebackers, it doesn't matter if you got the best linebackers in the league. Quality defensive tackles keep linebackers clean, so that really good linebackers can then chase and make tackles and pursue, and do all that stuff linebackers can do free-flowing and clean when you have good nose tackles. We don't have good nose tackles. We have Hankins, and then that's it. Bad defensive tackles mean linebackers have to take on offensive linemen, and usually they lose that, especially our shorter, smaller guys. You have to try to cheat to try to win. You get out of your gaps. Again, guys, a lot of these guys are two-way players. It impacts their coverage as well, so they're not just going out there stopping the run. They got to go back in coverage. So this is the problem. You got to worry about your defensive lineman, your nose tackle not being good, and it's Mozzie Smith dropping 35 pounds because Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones want to improve his pass rush and his get-off, and he's not really improving. That is a problem when you can't even get a good defensive tackle consistently in there, a nose tackle over center to hold off the blockers, so your linebackers can roam free and do what they need to do cleanly. Imagine if you had bad defensive tackles and average linebackers like we did. Oof, that's the issue. That's the problem with the Cowboys. Or when you don't look at the line, you look at the linebacker only, you look at running back only. You have to have offensive line and defensive lines that also pick up the slack there, so these running backs and linebackers can shine.
Yes.
Woo, we got ourselves a nice long name here, and an interesting one for sure, with a $10 holler.
I want you to say it.
let me see this.
I want you to say it.
Chapstick for your coochie lips.
Thank you.
Dropping that 10 on it. Appreciate it.
It's so much better when you say it.
I know. I say it with every emphasis. I'm going to, that's a great name. I'm going to put you up on that board, the $10 holler. You know what that means, though, baby? I think Iowa shot, don't I?
Yes, you do.
I was hoping it was you, but I forgot we already took one each.
Yeah,
so.
we already did that.
Shots, right?
Look, let me go ahead and read his comments.
Let's hear Coochie Lips comments.
Thank you, Chapstick.
With what, baby?
Chapstick for your coochie lips.
That's how you said that. That was good.
Said, we may have been too hard on our boys. Imagine if we'd had Vander Esch and Diggs. Do you think we'd gone further into the playoffs? I mean, yes and no.
I mean, does that mean we're not? I mean, to me, it's like
further into the playoffs in the sense that obviously that addresses some of our depth problem situations, right? Like, Bland is not expected to be the number one when he, clearly can't hang that way. We obviously have a little bit more help in the middle there with the linebacker situation, so we're also not having Damone Clark having to go every which way, to make up for that. Marquise Bell isn't asked to kind of. I'm just saying,
he could have been our DeMarvin Overshown,
yes.
Without having the pressure of having to be Damone Clark. And Damone Clark didn't have to be LVE, if we had.
But at the end of the day, guys. I don't know if that necessarily translates to furthering playoff success, just because what happened to our team would have happened with Trayvon and LVE there. They just would have been a part of that. So would it have gone as badly? Probably not. Do we still end up losing in the end? Probably, yeah. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I don't know
but
if
overall,
we would have looked better.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we would have looked better, but I still think overall the entire team just looked so bad. It's hard for me to think that having LVE and Diggs there, we would have looked better, but they would have just looked just as bad along with the rest of the team type of thing.
Yeah, it would have been, it's a scheme thing. Dan Quinn, as we said, and this is accountability, right?
Yeah.
Dan Quinn had to change the coverage situation, and linebackers were missing their gaps in that Packer game. We got destroyed, outcoached, and the defensive failure was mostly on Dan Quinn, in my opinion. But where was everybody else? Accountability for the defense has not been there. It's seemingly the whole year. And we're going to get into that in a minute here. 'Cause trust me, we're going to talk about that's the whole show is really outside of this celebration. It's accountability. And
Steve Bass cracking me up. I'm sorry. He said Mozzie lost weight and still slow. How the fuck does that work?
Yeah, he's still slow off. The whole reason for him to get the losing the weight was the faster get off, so he can pass rush better. He should not be getting. He should need the faster get off, but you can't ruin his defensive nose tackle ability, which is obviously. It seems to be ruined if he stays at 295. It just seems stupid. We got a smaller Osa Odigizua now. What the fuck? So I don't know if that was, I don't think that was Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn always likes nose tackles in there, but you know who doesn't? You know who doesn't like nose tackles on a regular basis? Doesn't cherish them? It's the clown show. That scares me. It's behind the scenes. They're like, hell no, we don't care about defensive tackles that stop the run. We want showboating. So we got a first round pick. He better get some sacks. So whatever. This is what they decided to do. Look, that's the one side of the ball there with Dan Quinn, defense. We'll talk about that. And I'm going to talk about everything in a minute here, but I want to just finish one last thing here. A couple last things when it comes to our Cowboys. And before I owe a shot. Yes, we're 17 away from you, baby. Taking a shot with me here.
Yes.
So 30,000 strong, guys. Again, thank you, guys. And thank you, baby, for making this trip. 6.5 years, 30K. I don't care if it took 20 years. I never thought we'd get, in 50 years, I never thought we'd get 30,000 subscribers. Family members strong. Appreciate the family here with us. So hit the like, hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and be part of the family here on MCF. Now, I do want to add into something here. On the other side of the ball, we talked about the defensive line and the defense, and you need good nose tackles to help your linebackers. You need a good offensive line to help your running backs and your quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. So when you look at the draft and you think about, okay, what can we do in this draft here? Again, we know our past draft, what showed up there. And usually, I usually like our drafts. Will McClay running the show is always a great thing to me, but my question is, for Will McClay, is what's the plan at the offensive line? And maybe I always bring up once a day, once a stream, I will bring up a quick little draft nugget. So this draft nugget time. So we'll put Will McClay when we're doing our draft nuggets. Think about this. Travis Frederick, center. We have Biotish came in after him, did a pretty damn good job, I would say. But is he good enough? Is he good enough to kind of continue? We have to pay this guy after this year. So can we improve? I mean, will the Cowboys pay Biotish the money to keep the connection with him and Dak, him and the offensive line? That's a question to be answered. But the Cowboys want, do we go center? Do we go center here in the first round? And the only reason I mentioned a guy yesterday on the offensive line, a tackle. I mentioned another guy today who's comparable to Travis Frederick. Travis Frederick was 6'4", 314 when he drafted. There's a guy out there, I think he plays for Duke. And he's 6'5", 314. He's an inch taller, same weight. Graham Barton. Graham Barton at center. Now, I'm not saying he's comparable in the sense that he's going to play like Travis Frederick. It's just the physicalities, let's just say. But the Cowboys have taken a center in the first round with Travis Frederick. And it changed the offensive line, run game mentality, the complexion of the offensive line, and the mentality of our offensive line is, I think, especially in the run game side of things. But if you get this guy, if we were to draft, I'm not even saying the draft number now. If we were to draft this Graham Barton, inside, he's one of the most intriguing options as an interior offensive lineman in this entire upcoming 2024 draft. If you want to get a nasty center, a real glass-eating asshole center, Graham Barton may be your guy. He comes. The price is you got to use your first-round pick on him. It's not a sexy selection like Travis Frederick, right?
It's not, but it would probably be immediately impactful.
He'd be our starter,
right?
He'd be because that means we're not keeping
Biotish.
That means that our starter would be Graham Barton. So that's you're drafting a starter year one at center, and not only that. Listen, he has a lot of experience at center. Let me rephrase that. He has some experience at center, not a lot. But he basically, the last position he played in college was left tackle. My point here is a perfect guy for the Cowboys love. Can play center, can play tackle, versatility, oh my goodness, they just came them in their pants, the whole Cowboy organization. So again, as a professional, as a pro, he will not stay at left tackle. As a pro, he's going to stay at guard or center. Keep that in mind. So that's what's going to happen. That's the gradual, that's the normal move for a guy like this who has his, his abilities and his height and weight. So Graham Barton, interior player at center. You want an asshole there that's going to kick ass, and you're going to replace Biotish. You want an option? That's an option there.
Pretty much everyone in the chat so far is saying it. Like, we need assholes.
There you go.
Like,
well,
we need an asshole.
He's the biggest asshole you can draft at the center position. And so let's grab him then.
I'm sorry, just the way you phrase that.
The biggest asshole.
Let's go draft the biggest assholes, guys.
Well, there you go. Will McClay, we put in our one of our very early January request. Get an asshole center. Graham Barton could be that guy. Just throwing that out there. Now, baby, I will say, before we get to accountability and my shot, and you're 17 away from another shot. Actually, I think I saw something else come through. I'm not sure. Oh, shit. There it is. Jason Renfro dropping $1 holler. Sorry about that, Jason. I missed it there. He did drop $1, which doesn't really affect anything right now. It does affect the fact that he is in first place, though, on the Cash App side. So much love to Jason Renfro, Cash App, current Cash App leader. And tonight, if it stays that way, he's the Cash App king for next week. So much love to him. Let me make sure I got everything done here. I did. Okay, I want to make sure I got it right.
Fuego. Zach Martin's definitely been getting a little bit more banged up the last year or two, for sure. But I don't think that we're at the replacement level yet for Zach Martin.
Zach Martin,
he's still okay.
We just signed him for a contract, a couple more years.
Plus,
he'll be good to go.
One of the few small positive things that I will say that Mike McCarthy did manage to do, we found a way to make Tyron Smith last throughout basically an entire season. He missed the least amount of games since basically what feels like 2014, 2015 era, right? So looking forward to hopefully continuing that, at least when it comes to the way that we manage Tyron.
Yeah, that's hopefully the McCarthy thing that obviously we know it's going to happen this year is going to continue, but we hope it continues in future years. If there's no more McCarthy starting, let's say after 2024, which we know he'll be here at least one more year for McCarthy. Anyways, much love to you guys. 88 points for Big D currently on the overall stream boss there. Of course, Mr. Marco Seppin still in first place on the overall board, trying to take that sponsor of the week from SnugX. Jason Renfro still in first place when it comes to the Cash App side of things. And again, we got JD from DC in first place on the gifting board as of this moment. But let's talk, as we get to the final part of this, before we take our last shots and kind of talk a little bit about our 30,000 subscribers and kind of call it a night, I guess.
Yeah.
But the thing is, guys, remember, Jerry, we're going to talk about accountability. And one of the biggest issues on this team, if not the biggest issue on this team, is the accountability side of things when it comes to specifically one guy only, Jerry Jones. So, before I get to the negative, let me get to some positive. Jerry Jones did a very nice thing for a Cowboy fan. This guy here, his name is Timothy Washington. Interesting name because he was in D.C. for the Cowboy Commander game, taking his father to see the Cowboys versus Commanders for their first game. Timothy Washington took his dad to the Cowboy Commander game and hoping to catch that first game. But, his first game, their first game together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, guys, Timothy Washington's father collapsed and died 100 yards from the outside of the stadium as they were going in.
Jeez.
And Jerry Jones sent flowers and a handwritten note to a man he never met. And Timothy Washington shared this on his Facebook post, sharing it on Facebook. I'm saying he posted, the information went down here when it came to Jerry Jones reaching out to him after his father passed away, literally going into the game.
Yeah, he said, finally home after a long weekend of love, grieving, and family. Nothing can heal what we've been through, but certain things will warm our hearts. I appreciate everyone who took the time to show our dad love, share their stories, and show up at our greatest time of need. I will always remember those who were there. Thank you for the food, flowers, cards, and also special thanks to Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys for reaching out to our family and recognizing my dad. He would be so proud.
Jerry Jones definitely being accountable there. In the sense of, he is there, grieving and giving his condolences to this situation, to this man and his son.
Yeah, that was actually really nice of Jerry to do that.
Yeah, so again, got to give Jerry Jones, of course, credit when credit's due. and this will be one of those times. So much love to Jerry Jones on that there. Now, we also, speaking of family, there's a family move here by Jerry Jones with this man's father who passed away. Let's talk about family members that talked a lot of shit. We know CeeDee Lamb's mother talked shit. She took down her posts on Facebook.
Can't help your family.
You know that Tad Prescott also made a couple comments and clarified it yesterday. Dak's brother, Micah's brother, also spoke out, and that was Terrence Parsons spoke out about how they're trying to move Micah around because the Cowboys are trying to you heard some stuff out there about Des Bryant saying he wasn't given the ball a lot in his contract year on purpose from the front office, from Jason Garrett, but from the front office. Basically, kind of the same thing happened to Amari Cooper when they were giving him 3 targets a game before we trade him for a bag of peanuts. So again, this get out there. I don't really believe the Cowboys. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's on a contract year and he had more targets than every single player in the NFL. So it's not always that way. Micah Parsons' brother went out there and criticized the Joneses, and not the Joneses directly, just the way things are going, that it's politics. Micah Parsons today responded to all that criticism about his brother. He said, quote, "Any comments made by my brother, Terrence Parsons Jr., are his and his alone. As you know, if I have something to say, I'm not afraid to say it. I love my team, I love my brothers on my team, and I love the city of Dallas, and I'm more committed than ever to bring a championship to the greatest fan base on earth," end quote. And listen, I love you, Micah. I love him. I do believe him on this. I also know that it's all still talk. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong what he said. It's a good thing he clarified that, but it's still talk until you fucking do it. So I'm still waiting, and I know we got to wait another year, but Micah, show up on some playoff games. I know it's not only on him. I know some flags need to be called. They were this last time against the Packers, against the opponent. But he's still not showing up. They're game planning against him. So either the coaches or Micah, you got to do better in performance on that field when it comes to trying to overcome things, bring a championship to the quote-unquote greatest fan base on earth. We're with you. But, we'll see what happens. Hey, by the way, you know what else we're with? We're with McLovin in the house, only from Hawaii. I'm making a joke because that's from Superbad, right? Yes. McLovin in the house. He had that fake ID.
Thank you.
But nothing fake about McLovin dropping that $10 holler, taking Big D down to 78 points. And guess what else he did, baby? Whether he knows it or doesn't know it, he takes us down to 6 away on the shot clock for you. I still owe one, but now you may owe one in $6 away from that. With that $10 holler, what did the man say? What did McLovin have to say?
Congrats on the 30,000.
I appreciate you.
And have a shot. So almost there. I think you're getting a little help from your friends there.
He's thinking after dark. That's the thing. He's thinking after dark.
There you go.
Because I know my guy McLovin after dark, we do the $10 shots because it's only me. But when it's the wife, she's a lot smaller than me. It's a $20 shot night here on MCF. On this channel, when the wife's with me, it is 20 per. But yeah, you're building towards it because right now you took it from 16 to 6. And we're 6 away for you, baby. And again, we're going to take the camera back on here. We're going to kick a couple shots. I owe a shot. And we're 6 away from you owing a shot, baby. Appreciate Mr. McLovin. I'm going to add him to the board here, if you don't mind. Before we get to the real... I talked about Micah already. NDN Boogie dropping that 5 on it.
Yes, he did.
$5
Thank you so
holler.
much. NDN Boogie representing it. Much love. He said...
What did the man say?
Congrats on 30K.
Oh, much
love. MCF.
Oh, hell yeah. I thought I was going to say more. Appreciate you, brother. Mr. NDM Boogie in the house here. Always, again, a lot of people here are new. Some people here are old school. Either way, appreciate all the family here. 30,000 plus. It's actually 30,100 plus. I got to say, I just mentally have to say that because since yesterday we hit 30,000, today we got another 100 plus. So keep it growing here on the family. Keep growing the channel. And we'll see what we can do. You know what I mean? We'll see what we can do. Get up to 40,000, 50,000, 100K? I'm just talking on my ass, right? I don't know. Shadow God in the house.
Thank you for subbing it up.
Welcome. Speaking of subbing up, welcome to the family. 30,000 plus subscribers. Keeps growing. Big D to 72 points. And by the way, after that drop from NDM Boogie, guess what happened? We're down to $1 away from a shot for you, baby.
Well, you might want to just reset that shot clock. Because I
Okay.
can see it right here with Jason Renfro's dollar holler. Classic Go Cowboys that the shot clock has now been.
So now we're good. I think that means that we now both will be taking a shot. So again, we have only how many shots we taken? 2 already, and I'm feeling good. I know you must be flying high right now.
Definitely feeling it.
So I'm finishing. I'll have to finish my little part here about accountability. I think I'm gonna take the shot before we do the accountability.
Yeah, I think that's the
are
best
you able to do the shot though, or should I wait for you a little bit?
No, I got you.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'll
do my best. So let me make me disappear.
Have some soda left in the little baby soda can.
30K, baby. But it's also about them shots. Look, the room's empty because we're entering. So let me put this back up there because it is a 30. It is a celebration, even if our Cowboys shit the fucking bed. Mm-hmm. Still a celebration for us here, bobblehead style. 30,000 subscribers. Now let me talk about some motherfucking accountability. All right, accountability. See that man right there, Jimmy Johnson, not the JJ at the bottom left, not Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson. That's the man freshly inducted into the Ring of Honor. But accountability is very far away at the Star, with Jerry, with Steven, with the coaches, with the players. Accountability. Hear my words here. Accountability, guys. It isn't his fault. I hear a lot of this going on, baby. We hear it's the defense fault only. It's Dak Prescott's fault only. It's this guy's fault. It's Jerry Jones' fault only.
Oh, I know it's not Brandon James' fault with the dollar holler.
He dropped the dollar.
Go Cowboys.
Trickle through. And he did a Go Cowboys there for us. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh. You can see it's starting to wear on me a little bit, these shots. But it's all right because I pre-planned for this, guys. I pre-planned. I carved up. Got some spaghetti up in me. You know how I do before these things. But hey, that's the first crack. The first crack in the armor there. Again, Brandon James, thank you. That takes us down to 18 points. 18 points. $18 away from another one. Another shot. Let me fix that right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. And he did say that Go Cowboys. Appreciate you.
We're already caught up, though, Fuego. We're all caught up.
Yeah. Are you
took
kidding
all
me?
our shots.
I got 3 shots in me. The wife got 3 shots in her. And we're working on a 4th here. So it ain't my fault. Hey, listen, at a certain point, we're going to run out of shots. We got probably at least 3 shots left. Maybe 4, if we're lucky. Total. And I'm going to have to take most of them. I'm going to take 3 of those 4. So we'll see what happens. But look, let's get back to the quick moment here, guys. Accountability. I hear a lot of people saying it's not this person's fault. It's not the defending the defense. The defending Dak Prescott. The defending Jerry Jones. I heard it all this week, guys. But let me just start with accountability with the players specifically. I know you guys are going to get mad at me at this. A lot of people get mad about this. But I got to be real. I got to be honest. And baby, I want to know what you think about this. Because to me, there's a lot of us that are like, big-time Dak Prescott fans. I am one of them. You are one of them. Most of us in here are Dak Prescott fans. And again, bigger than Dak Prescott is the star. Star over everything.
Agree.
Dak Prescott is not the reason we lost against the Packers. But Dak Prescott is a reason why we lost against the Packers. I see people saying, just blame the defense. It's nothing to do with the offense. It's not offense was bad, but it wasn't. The offense could have done more. They would have been fine. We scored 32 points. Guys, garbage time doesn't count as, that's a lot easier to score points when it's garbage time for our offense, for McCarthy, for Dak, for everyone. So when you say it's not Dak's fault, you sound dumb. Now, Dak threw 2 picks in the first half. Bad plays not by McCarthy or the defense, by Dak fucking Prescott. And you guys just got to deal with that. Those that love Dak, you got to be real. Take accountability. Don't say it's rigged. Don't say the NFL's fake. It's WWE. You sound stupid. Don't sit there and say it's not Dak's fault. It's the defense's fault. Defense had a big part to play in this. Dan Quinn, a major part to play in this. Most people are giving the big blame to them, but the Dak haters are gonna double down on this all on Dak. And it's not. But the Dak lovers, the Dak, defenders through anything, will say Dak had really nothing to do with this. And that's where you're wrong.
Yeah,
and
last time I checked, Dak was playing that game.
Yeah, Dak was playing offense, and it was a very shitty offense we were in. You can blame a lot of people, players. coaches, but
Now,
Dak must be blamed as well.
And to be fair, if you want to sit there and say, I blame the defense more, you're right. Like, that's
right.
That's fine. That makes sense. But you can't sit there and say that somehow only half of our team is responsible for this loss. It's just incorrect.
Offense, defense, special teams, coaches, front office, take your fucking accountability. That's all I'm saying. So let me just break down the hard truth about Dak Prescott. It is his fault as well. All right? Because all I heard is that a lot of people that defend Dak are just saying it's not Dak. People that defend Dan Quinn are saying, yeah, Dan Quinn fucked up. The people that say, the defense has been great all year, yeah, the defense fucked up. People that said, Dak, is great all year are saying it's nothing to do with Dak. This is not a Dak issue, and you're wrong about that. Again, I'm going to go back to that first pick to Brandon Cooks. He threw it to Brandon Cooks. And the read was obvious. High school quarterbacks make this read over the top to CeeDee Lamb. Whether that CeeDee Lamb would have caught it, I don't know if he was on drugs or what. I don't know if he was on tranquilizers. He looked like he was out of it, CeeDee Lamb. But CeeDee Lamb was the actual read on that play. Dak Prescott tried to squeeze it in a tight coverage. We got picked by Jair Alexander. Dumb play by Dak. The second pick, we were driving. Dak kept talking to CeeDee Lamb, trying to squeeze. Every play was getting the ball to CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb was out of position. He dropped the pass. He was he was not looking for the ball. Dak was trying to force the ball to CeeDee Lamb and forced it instead of the Brandon Cooks on that play. The first time he squeezed the Brandon Cooks, should have went to CeeDee Lamb. That was the first pick. The second pick, which was a pick six, Dak tried to squeeze the ball to CeeDee Lamb, and Brandon Cooks is wide open. Wide the fuck open. And guys, you can bitch and sit there and say, well, if the defense didn't allow these points, if it wasn't 21-0, if it wasn't blah, 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 blah. Guys, Dak cannot be part of the fucking problem, too, if you want to come back and win this game. Dak was part of the problem. Dak, the offense, was part of the fucking problem. So, again, people say these things about Dak Prescott. These are people saying this about Dak in the postseason. I know he's 2-5. I don't even care too much about that. But they say this about Dak. It's not his fault. It's always the receivers didn't run the right route. It's always the receivers didn't try to catch the ball, better. The defense should go out there and stop the other team from scoring. Saying it's not on Dak. Dak can't play defense. So again, the point is this. The defense is supposed to jump out on the field. That's my question. When Dak throws a pick six to Darnell Savage, is the defense supposed to go on the field and make the tackle? Like, the defense can only do so much when the Packers got the ball after Jair Alexander got the pick in the first pick, and it looked like a pick six. It wasn't, but then 3 plays later they score. Why? Well, the defense, they only had 10 yards to give up there. So yeah, the defense should have maybe tried to stop them, but the defense couldn't stop those two touchdowns or those 27 points. I'm sorry, the 27 points at half or whatever it was. Half of those were Dak Prescott giving that up. So stop the bullshit. Dak didn't have anything to do with this. Dak could be blamed less than the defense, but Dak has to take blame. It's called accountability, motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? It's accountability is the problem, and that's it's with the fans too. Fans don't want the Cowboys. They want to be right over being real, and that's the problem with this fucking team from top to bottom. So I'm really stressing on this because this is the one thing I've heard the biggest divide about. When Dak is doing great, you hear the haters, and you hear us go after the haters all the time. When you hear the other way around, and now people defending Dak just to defend him blindly and put no blame on him, that is ignorant. That is stupid. So the interceptions won't happen from Dak in this game. This game would have been 14-0 if Dak didn't throw those 2 picks. Now, you can say this here. If Dak didn't force that pass to Brandon Cooks or to CeeDee Lamb, those aren't picks, right? Those aren't picks or pick sixes, right?
Yeah.
What about Dak, sometimes overthrowing a wide open wide receiver? We've seen that happen in this game a couple of times down the field to Brandon Cooks. He had missed one to CeeDee Lamb in this game in the first half. You got to hold Dak Prescott accountable for his poor decision-making in big games. That's it. Can we all say it together and not hate each other because we said something bad about Dak? Can we say this and not say it's all on Dak Prescott? Like a dumbass? That would be a dumbass move, right? It's also dumbass to say Dak did nothing wrong in this game. It's because the defense made Dak play this way. Fucking shut up. You sound dumb. So, again, guys, this is why I'm saying today's word is accountability. Or I say no accountability. Because fans won't hold Dak accountable. The ones that love him to a point of blindness. The front office, specifically, are the ones that will not hold certain people, everybody, including the quarterback in this situation, accountable. And that is because the front office, the Joneses, keeping up with the Joneses, the Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones crew, this is their guy. This is the guy they paid a lot of money for. You think that the Joneses are going to want to say, Dak messed up? That's the last thing they want to do. This ain't about love or hate. This is about money. And the Joneses don't want to hold Dak accountable. So
they hitch their wagon to the
right.
Prescott, success train, so to speak.
Yes, and I'm just saying, guys, the whole organization. It's not about even Dak. I'm taking Dak away. This thing here, I'm done with the first step here, but it's part of all the same thing, accountability. Dak Prescott got to be held accountable. But what about the front office and everybody else holding this team accountable? Guys, that's the key word. It applies to the entire organization, accountability. All right, where is accountability for this team? And what I mean by that is the Joneses, after getting dealt the biggest fucking embarrassing loss in our history in the playoffs. I mean, this is pretty bad in our illustrious history. Mike McCarthy, after all that display, Mike McCarthy is going to be back in Dallas now and rep the star for us. Isn't that nice? Accountability would be, you're fired, motherfucker. That's accountability. So the Cowboys announced Mike McCarthy's coming back to the team, and Jerry Jones said, quote, there is accountability for our results. I am accountable for our results. That's what Jerry Jones said. Really? What the fuck are you talking about? When has Jerry Jones ever been accountable for our negative results?
Yeah, you know when? Why we know he can't be accountable? Because he can't be fired.
Jerry Jones can never be fired.
Exactly. It's like any king comfortable on his throne, he knows he can't be voted out, so he can just do whatever he wants, and the people just kind of have to suck it up and deal with it.
No one has been held accountable in this Dallas Cowboy organization for basically 30 years. 30 years since Jimmy Johnson left, and yes, we won a Super Bowl 28 years ago. That was Jimmy Johnson's team, scouts, and players, not Switzer. And it was not Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones got in Deion Sanders. You get an ounce of credit for that, but he wants all the credit. He wants all the good and bad. He wants all the good, none of the bad or ugly, and no accountability on this fucking franchise for 30 fucking years. Has one single coach so far, guys, I want you to answer me. You can answer me, baby, because they can't scream through their TV. Mm-hmm. But has any coach, since this debacle, any one of our coaches been fired?
Not a one.
Not one motherfucker. None. And right now, the only
Eagle coaches are getting fired before our coaches are.
What happened? I'm sorry?
I said Eagle coaches are getting fired before our coaches are, and they played their game a full 24 hours, basically, after
us.
Ours.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, my point here is no firing of coaches. The only guy we might lose is Dan Quinn. Not because he got fired. If he takes a head coaching job with Seattle or somewhere else, it sounds like the entire staff is going to be retained. So, okay, I'm not saying you blame one person. It's everyone's fault. But where's the accountability to answer for this disgraceful display? Not just 28 years. This year. Just this year. This embarrassment loss. Listen, Jordan Love, the Packers did great. I mean, they should have really beat the Niners yesterday. So they're a better team than the 7th seed that they came in on. But still, we're a more supposedly quote unquote talented team with better coaches and all the down the line, all these head coaches, coaching different parts of our team. Where the fuck is the accountability? No coach is being fired. No one's being held responsible. No one's being criticized. It's all sunshine and puppy dogs, ice cream and rainbows. That's what it feels like with these motherfuckers. So unless Dan Quinn takes a head coaching job somewhere else, he'll be here as well. No one is going to get fired. Everyone is being retained. So my question is, why? How does anyone in the front office or our coaching staff get to be told that they can keep their job after that horrifying loss last Sunday against the Packers? That's it. I mean, is that not a good question to ask? I mean, I think it's, for the coaches, guys, a head or two got to roll. Nope. Not at all. Not the clown show. They want to show their clowny faces like they're the masterminds of the league. Bullshit. Grow up. That was 30 years ago. The same thing goes, baby. Don't get mad, those player lovers. The players also got to be accountable. Okay? Your quarterback, Dak Prescott, has not gotten past, helped this team offensively get out of the divisional round in 8 years since he's been here. All right? It's not just him, though, because he's not the Dallas Cowboys. He's the quarterback, right? I know he's the highest paid player in the NFL. He was the highest paid player in the NFL a couple years ago, right? When the Cowboys gave him the extension. Is that part of the lack of accountability? Maybe, but it is a decision you have to make. I think the bigger issue was them not paying him sooner so he can be better off on the cap. But hey, that's the way the Joneses work. Everyone that walks into the building, guys, after this game on Monday, whenever these guys, the team, the players, when they walk back into the Star, should have been filled with dread that they would find a pink slip waiting for them at their desk or locker. Every fucking coach, every fucking player. I'm not saying they're all going to get fired. They're not going to, but they all should have felt like they could get fired. They should have all felt like this could be it for me here in Dallas. Not one motherfucker was sent packing. Not one. Not one, guys. This is a disaster. This is a bad look. This is a bad way of running your organization. How is there, and again, Jerry Jones saying he's accountable. Bullshit. How is there any accountability in this team in this building if no heads rolled? No heads rolled after this despicable loss to the Packers. This Sunday surrender against the Packers last week should have led to a Monday morning, at least a massacre of some sort. Some people should have went down, and it didn't. And that's what I'm trying to say, guys. It's inexcusable. Do you understand why this is inexcusable? I don't know if you guys realize why. Again, you got to remember what happened. And again, I hate to say this like at halftime because the Cowboy players, they couldn't hear anything. All right? They didn't know what was going on when it came to the broadcast, let's say, right? But let me put it this way. When your 80-year-old former head coach shows more fire and passion during halftime of that Sunday game than your entire organization did is shameful.
I was going to say, you're in for a bad time.
When Jimmy Johnson's up there yelling and screaming, being real, and guys, Troy Aikman said this today or yesterday, that Jimmy Johnson doing what he was doing on a Fox at the halftime of the game, giving like a pretend halftime speech, there was no fakeness going on. There was no joking going there. Michael Strahan thought that maybe Jimmy Johnson was also like maybe joking a little bit and just like overdoing it. No, guys, Troy Aikman said he knows Jimmy Johnson, of course, been playing in all these years, keeps up with him, and he said he's never heard this of Jimmy Johnson this way that he spoke since he was coaching. That's how serious Jimmy Johnson. When Jimmy Johnson, who doesn't work for the Cowboys, who was disrespected by Jerry Jones, when he is showing more passion for this team, when Michael Irvin after the game shows passion for this team, when Emmitt Smith after the game shows passion, Troy Aikman shows passion, back to Jimmy Johnson showing passion for this team, and nobody gets in trouble, no one gets their hands spanked, no issues at all. Listen, the reason I say a pink slip should have been waiting for some of these players. Some of these players should have been fired, released immediately. Coaches, heads should have rolled immediately. We could say McCarthy, whoever. My point is, someone should have been fucked. Some people, I know you would have said, there would have been what do you call it? If you blame the person and you put all the blame
scapegoat?
on them. Yeah, it would have been a scapegoat. Someone had to go. Someone has to, and no one went. And so let me explain to you the way it should be. Because that's where I put this back up here. Jimmy Johnson. Let me explain to you. I know, baby, you don't remember this, but let me school you, and let me school some of the fans.
Let me know.
Some of you guys, I don't know about Jimmy Johnson. In 1992, Cowboys had wrapped up the division, the NFC East, and we had the number 2 seed in a bye week. We played the Bears at home. It was a regular season finale. It was a game that we blew them out. We had won. We were up 27-0. Sound familiar? We were up 27-0 in the fourth quarter against the Bears. Emmett had a couple touchdowns. He had the rushing record, the rushing title, whatever it was. And up 27-0 in the fourth quarter, we had our backups in. Our backup running back, his name was Curvin Richards. You remember Curvin Richards? Backup to Emmitt Smith. He fumbled the ball not once, but twice in the fourth quarter. Now, we won the game. It was unimportant, right? The next morning, Kirvin Richards was unemployed. Jimmy Johnson said, get the fuck out of here. I don't care if you're an eighth stringer. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. There's no love here. It's about winning. And that's what Jimmy Johnson did. That's what Jimmy Johnson instilled. He instilled accountability. You got to be accountable. And if you fumble twice as a backup in a meaningless game, guess what? You're out of here, motherfucker. And that message was sent. Message was received by the Cowboy team. You know what happened that year? We won the Super Bowl a couple weeks later. Now, I know it's not just that, but that's the mindset that Jimmy brought to this team. That's the mindset the players had on this team. Ask Michael Irvin. Ask Troy Aikman. Ask Emmitt Smith. Ask Charles fucking Haley. Ask them all. Now, you ask Deion Sanders, he might not see that accountability. But you because he was here after Jimmy. But you ask the other guys, you'll see it. And not only that, when Deion came on, Deion's accountable for his own actions. And he was in a team and coaches and scouts, players that all were holding themselves accountable. So he, no issues there. You know what I mean? Like, it was still, the accountability was almost still held by the players, even when Jimmy was gone. By the coaches that were still there, even when Jimmy was gone. So, again, accountability actually works if you actually use it. And that's one thing Jerry Jones never has done from the top to the bottom. And 31 years later, after 1992 accountability, kind of example. Remember, in 89, he had guys running asthma fields because they were too tired to run. Listen, it was grueling. Probably not. It's definitely not legal nowadays. But my point is, Jimmy Johnson pushed them to their limit, and if you couldn't take it, get the fuck off his field. If you fumble twice in the fourth quarter in a meaningless game, we're up 27-0, you're still getting fired. So, as this Cowboy team, the last 3 years, very unprepared, would you agree? Unprepared to play in the playoffs. Right? I mean... Yeah,
it's
embarrassing.
Now, repeatedly, the last handful of years, no matter which way you slice it, we just are not looking good or ready.
We don't look ready. We're not prepared. Especially when it comes to playoff games, and then we get smoked. We get controlled. We get handled. No, in this situation with the Packers, we got embarrassed. No coaches were fired yet, and they're not going to be. Dan Quinn's getting a promotion to a head coaching job somewhere else. That's the only loss we may have. No, not one front office personnel coach was fired. Not one. Not front office personnel, Not one coach. No player has been cut. Nothing more but empty promises of, we'll do better next year. We're going to build off of this. As Mike McCarthy said, just buy into us. Buy in. Fuck you. How's that? That's my response. My retort is fuck you. I am buying in to your bullshit. And you got to show me accountability. Empty promises don't work for me. No accountability, guys. No accountability for one of the most disgusting displays of apathy and disconnect that happened against the Packers last week and on any football field in the history of our team, I would say. As far as in the playoffs and an embarrassing kind of, we didn't show up for this game at all. We've lost other games. We've lost heartbreakers. We were down a couple. We might have lost a little ugly in some games. We never were this bashed up in a second seed versus seventh seed situation, guys. Again, like this is the way it has been since Jerry fired Jimmy Johnson. The one guy, Jimmy Johnson, the one guy who fucking demanded. I mean, he demanded accountability. If you were not accountable, you're out of the team. You're off the team. I don't care who you fucking were. You had to be accountable. So since Jimmy Johnson's been gone, there's been no accountability on this team. Three fucking decades, guys. 30 is a big number today here, 30,000, but it's been 30. I'm still saying it's been 3 decades, 30 years since Jimmy's been gone, and the accountability mindset has been lost for this team, for this organization, for this very, very, at least it was a very proud franchise. I don't know what I can call it anymore when it comes to the Jerry Jones way. So let me just finish with this, baby, before we put the camera on and I take my shot. But let me just say this. The Cowboys, when it comes to, saying, hey, you know what, let's fix something, let's fix things, it's more just empty promises, It's let's see how we do next year. It's, it was not this person's fault. It was not that person's fault. It's that kind of shit that I hear. And I'm just sick of it, guys. It's time to change the culture and mindset of this team the last 30 years, and it won't be able to be changed because Jerry Jones is still there. And again, that's why I wanted to kind of finish up by just saying this. We can blame Dak. We can blame Micah for not getting sacks. We can blame Dan Quinn for the scheme. We can blame Mike McCarthy for his bumbling fucking non-count. But guys, why is Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn, Dak Prescott, and Micah Parsons, why are they not really that holding anybody or themselves? I mean, they held themselves accountable, but why don't you hear a lot of accountability on this team? Why? Why do we not? Why is there a trickle-down effect of lost accountability from the coaches? And why does that trickle down to the players? Do you know why? The clown show. And Jimmy Johnson knows it. The clown show allows your players, your top, if Dak had it just doesn't happen, but let's say if one of your players have an issue with the coach, they don't have to go to the coach, they go to Jerry Jones.
Cutting out the middleman.
I mean, that's fucked up. When you do that, you are now allowing the players to kind of say, look, I'm going to bitch about this. My coach doesn't have that control on me like Jimmy Johnson had control, so I can just go to the big man in the office and bitch to him about something because I'm getting paid a lot of money, or I'm your star player, or I'm your new draft pick that you love. You gave me number 88. I can just go bitch. I'm not saying that CeeDee Lamb or Dak or Mike or anyone bitched. My point is the fact that it can happen, the fact that it is allowed, and there's no middleman. Jimmy was the middleman. Jimmy was the GM at the time, back in the 90s there. Jimmy Johnson would have been like, you talk to me and me only, and the players respected that. They held each other accountable. Jimmy Johnson held them accountable. You know what changed is that Jimmy Johnson was fired, and Jerry Jones held no one accountable. No one. As long as they brought in the ratings, as long as they brought in the money, he held no one accountable. And that allowing the lack of accountability, no accountability in this team, has led to, you can see these guys, Steven and Jerry. You got Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn. You got Dak and Micah. I'm not saying that trickles down from the front office, from the owners, to the front office, to the coaches, to the players. That is the problem, my friends, with this fucking team. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go this long. I know I'm a little tipsy. I'm feeling the alcohol a little bit right now. You can hear me getting upset. I just got to be real. I'm not trying to be upset. I'm sorry. I didn't really want to be upset. I just had to be real. So, any thoughts about this, baby? Accountability? No.
I mean, we got to
I want your
stop
answer,
for a
though.
second there.
I want your answer. But first, we got chapstick for your coochie lips. With another 1-0, a $10 holler for chapstick all over them coochie lips. What did chapstick have to say, baby?
Jerry just doesn't have enough time for a rebuild. This poor fella is old. Keeping this team together is less risky than blowing it up if we hope to win a Super Bowl before he passes. Very good point.
Can you read that one more time? Because that's a great comment right there. That deserves a reread on a 30,000 subscriber special.
Chapstick said, Jerry just doesn't have enough time for a rebuild. This poor fella's old. Keeping this team together is less risky than blowing it up if we hope to win a Super Bowl before he passes.
Before this guy passes. Jerry Jones. Exactly. Chapstick. So, why would he blow up this team and start over in 3 or 4 years and maybe get rolling back in the playoffs? Jerry Jones might be dead by then. You're right, Chapstick. And it's sad. It's sad for this team, for this organization. I know when I was a kid, even though we weren't that great, I know how prideful we were about our history, our past, and that star on the helmet. When Jimmy came, I know how we felt. And then things changed. The only time we had a little bit of pride back was when Bill Parcells was here. And Bill Parcells was like, I'm going to take this shit with Jimmy Johnson with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones going into player-only meetings. They would just walk right in, these two fuckers. So Bill Parcells is like, after Romo's missed hold in the playoffs against Seattle, the extra point, the field goal, Bill Parcells is like, I don't have to take this shit anymore. I'm out of here. And he head for the hills. So again, that's it. No, that's our accountability rating there. We had Jimmy Johnson, we had Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, and then a little drip of Parcells, which that drip helped us propel the team forward. Without Parcells, we would have never had the success we had in the late 2000s. And so again, it's all accountability is what wins, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. The guys that had accountability were Tom Landry. We got 2 Super Bowls. Guys that had accountability, Jimmy Johnson. He had 3 Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. I credit him for 3, even though it was 2. 3 Super Bowls with his team. And then Bill Parcells, no Super Bowls with us, but 2 with the Giants, because he demanded accountability. You feel me? So, baby, what do you think about that? I know we much love the chapstick on that board there. Yes. Baby, by the way, we're 8 away from another shot, so you might be taking one with me. But let me put the camera back on. Let me put the camera on. How about that? I want to see your thoughts, hear your thoughts about the situation. I'll put Jimmy on there. We can get inspired from Jimmy.
He inspires me.
Jimmy inspires. Listen, he inspired people. I had a lot of comments on that Jimmy Johnson video I posted in the short. I had people telling me like they would run out of their living room and run to a wall just for Jimmy Johnson. But anybody else on this screen? Would you run through a fucking wall for? Steven or Jerry? Dak or Micah? Dan or Dan Quinn or Mike McCarthy? The answer is fuck no. But Jimmy, you definitely would. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that. So go ahead, baby. But I gotta say, much love to everybody in the house, by the way, just for being here with us. Again, I can't just leave this on the screen. I gotta also put up this on the screen. Boom. This is our 30,000 subscriber special, guys, and you guys have made it awesome for our 6.5 plus years, right here on this little part of YouTube here, right here on MCF.
Yes, thank you.
30,000 plus family members. And that's, again, a little mini celebration on almost a school night, right? We call it a school night here. And it's very late here on our side. It's about 3 a.m., but we have planned for this because we hit the 30K. And, we are appreciative of those that have dropped the love today to help get us feeling less angry about this season and this past season and a little more happy about, where the direction of the channel is going here on My Cowboys Family. So thank you guys. And yes, 6 away from a shot. I still hold. I'll put the camera back on if we have to. But right now, it looks like this is where it's going to end. So, again, I think we made our points. Mm-hmm. I think we spoke our piece. I think you guys also spoke your piece in the chat. Let's get some shout-outs and some final comments in there, if you could.
Of course, Matt Batten, thank you. Said, great show, guys.
Thank you.
Lost in translation, saying congrats. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Let me see. Matt Batten said, don't respect Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons, Dak, Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, rest of them losers, Dallas Cowboy players.
Look, I respect what Dak can do. I respect what Micah can do. I respect some of the Dan Quinn upgrades. I respect the Mike McCarthy upgrade that we got there on the offense this year, his adjustments. There's some things you can say good about these guys. Jerry Jones, he signed Deion Sanders, I guess. Stephen Jones, he laughs weird. But my point is that outside of a few good things, it's an overwhelming amount of neutral or negative things, especially with the front office. You can say it with some of the coaching. You can say it with some of the players. But that front office where the shit starts from and it trickles downhill, like Jason Renfro said. We don't have that Jimmy Johnson to take the team by the horns and say, fucking wake up and do this right, or you're out of here. No accountability. Jimmy had it. Nobody else on the screen has it. No one on this screen has it. Dak has it to some extent. But he also gives you the scripted accountability. Mm-hmm. The basic, we'll be back next week accountability. I ain't accountability. Jimmy Johnson's like, we need to get some heads rolling. That's the accountability we kind of need for this team at this point. And no one's heads rolled. That's the problem.
So, Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett,
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the congrats there.
Yes, much love. Appreciate it. And yeah, we do our best to do a decent show in here, even with a little celebratory shot for the channel. We got to give these motherfuckers on the bottom of the screen some shots of wake up here. Because Jimmy Johnson, he knows. Even at 80 years old, he inspires more passion than anyone else on this fucking screen. Let's all be honest about this.
So, let me keep going here with some of the shout outs, of course. Terrence Bowie, Hannibal King 47, Chapstick for your coochie.
Say the full name.
Chapstick for your coochie.
Yeah.
So, sorry, coochie lips.
Coochie lips.
Gotta
Yeah, I
be
think you forgot
specific.
lips
Yeah.
on that. Yeah.
Asmodeus in the house. Much love. Hannibal King. Dr. Football. Let me see. Jason Renfro. Burn Bar. Much love. Let me see. DC Worldwide Media. AOD.
AOD in the house.
James Herr. Meatball Ron.
Meatball Ron in the house.
Pioneer. Yeah, that's more or less as far back as I can go, at least on my side. So I'll come back down here.
All right. We're rolling out of here. Minute or two, guys. Thank you all for riding. I don't know if was there any other comments. I'm sorry. Were there any other shout outs or bad intentions? I see him in the house.
We read most of
Matt
them.
Batten
Lunatic,
said,
thank you.
The lunatic in the house. I see Matt Batten saying facts. No one was punished for this loss.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. That's my point. It's so frustrating to me. Bad intentions, and Micah is the face of the Cowboys, not Dak. Well, I agree with that to some extent. I think more Dak's the offensive face. Micah's the defensive face. Face or no face, where's the accountability by either guy? Where's the accountability by the coaches that coach them? Where's the accountability by the owners that own this team and this organization? Where's the accountability that Jimmy Johnson brings? That's what's missing. You know what I mean? And yes, Pioneer, Cowboy, and Niner fans, I don't really care what happens. I just don't want the Niners winning the Super Bowl. That's all I care about. I don't want them getting there. I don't want the Niners winning it. That's it. Whew. All right, I'm taking a breath here because I see what just came up on my side of the screen. It didn't come up on our screen yet, baby, but guess what? It is that time. There it is. Holy shit. Just perfectly timed right there. Jason Renfro dropping the $6 holler, baby. And you know what that means?
That means you weren't fast enough. But yes, Jason Renfro, thank you so much with the $6
I wasn't fast
holler.
enough.
Yes, it is shot time saying, drink MCW. It is shot time for you. Go Cowboys. Time to begin a new search for 6 and beyond. Starting with the draft. Go Cowboys now and forever.
I was actually going to just say, I was going to take the shot for you, my love.
Okay, well then do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I would say is you take one more shot. I mean, yeah.
Guy rocking this here as the sponsor of the week and the Cash App King. Thank you to
there it is, Cash App
Skeptical
King.
Fan as the membership gifting king.
Yes.
Of course. And up above, Big D, bossing that stream around with 51.
So, yeah, Snug X, sponsor of the week, Cash App King. You have Skeptical, but guess who's taking over the lead? The boards for next week. JD from DC with 5 gifted memberships. He is the champion of the gifting board.
That's right.
Much love to him. Big D, of course, taking that 51 into tomorrow's stream, it looks like, in a new week. But then who takes over the Cash App, baby?
Who?
Oh, the man dropping the dollar hollers all night long, Mr. Jason Renfro in the house, yo. Much love to Jason Renfro, who dropped a couple drops today that get us those shots. Thank you, Jason. Go Cowboys, repping that navy blue, silver, and star over everything. He's going to be our Cash App King starting tomorrow. And then down below, the sponsor of the week. Man, we got a lot of different names, right? Mm-hmm. Mark Hovsepian holds off Big D by about 40, I think, for the win. I would have to do calculations, but that's a set thing now. Mr. Mark Hovsepian, is he starting a new streak? He got 15 in a row as our sponsor of the week. I think last year, 15 weeks. That's almost 4 months at the sponsor of the week, but he's got hold of it one more time, starting a new streak, stopping Snug X's streak. So Jason Renfro taking over Snug X's Cash App, Mark Hovsepian taking over Snug X's sponsor of the week. Big D took over Mark Hovsepian's stream boss earlier tonight, and JD from DC repping that star in enemy territory takes over for Skeptical Fan in the gifting membership king board. He's the leader. He's the king. He's the big winner. He's the champ of the gifting membership side of things. So thank you guys so much. Let me put it up again here. The reason we're here doing this thing. I think you know the reason why. It's that 3-0 total, right? I just missed it. There it is. It's the 30,000, not 30,000 to 100. 30,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for making this happen. Again, cannot do this without your love and support. And by the way, yes, the man Jason Renfro, he said, I'm going to drop another dollar holler. Why not?
Ooh, thank you, Jason.
Appreciate him. Because, I mean, technically the shot count goes down to 19.
Nah.
But I don't see that happening or changing anytime soon. But he does drop a dollar holler. Much love to Jason Renfro, as he, again, is basically saying, I got that Cash App. What you going to do about it? Cash App King Snug X gives the reins over, the crown over to Jason Renfro. Yep. You guys, awesome. Appreciate you all. Bad intentions here. I hear you. Playing against better teams. It's not just Dak Prescott that's having issues. It's the defense. It's the coaching. Mm-hmm. It's everyone. Please stop blaming only Dak. That's where you have to be more accountable, family. Accountable for your thoughts about this. Accountability is not just Dak Prescott. It's the entire team and Dak Prescott. You guys feel me? Gunner87 said, look what happened when Jimmy was our coach and had Jerry Jones said to the media, anyone could take the team to a Super Bowl. I remember that. Anyone could take a team to the Super Bowl. Jerry Jones said that after we got rid of Jimmy. How's that working out for you?
I guess he's not just anyone, huh?
Well, I mean, I guess he felt like Switzer was enough, even though we know Switzer was just taking over Jimmy Johnson's team, scouts, and players. So it was really no. It was just Jerry's guys being managed by Barry Switzer. Let's be honest, right? So bad intentions. Russell Wilson had a clause saying that it ways. Yeah, there's a way around it. But Russell Wilson said, "I want to leave Seattle, and I will take the clause off." Dak has to say, "I want to leave Dallas," and then he says, "I'll take the no trade clause off." That's the way it works, bro. That's being real. Jimmy was our best coach. I'd say, Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, and then Bill Parcells. Those are our three best coaches, I think, in our history. But Parcells was there 3 fucking years. Dak needs a running game, bad intentions. I hear you, man. It's everybody. Remember that. Accountability starts with Jerry Jones. Start with him. Yep. Hey, by the way, I want to remind everybody, Jason Renfro was our Cash App King for 20 straight weeks. That's the all-time record. And again, he's reclaimed that crown. Will he start a new streak, trying to break that old one? That's 5 months of domination. Much love to you, Jason Renfro. Thanks for the reminder, man. I'm sorry. I should have reminded. With the of course, the sponsor week is a lot more difficult. Mm-hmm. But it's both difficult. Any streaks like this is very difficult. And both of them are the ones that rep both of those boards. Sponsor of the week has been 15 streaks. Marco Seppi, and he's got it back starting a new week. And 20 weeks of dominance, all-time dominance by Jason Renfro as the Cash App King. He's got that back now, starting a new streak. Thank you all. Truly appreciate you all. Hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. I hope you enjoyed this 30,000 subscriber special. Ooh, I know I am getting drunk. So thank you all for that little part of celebration. And hopefully it numbs out the negatives of this team going into 2024. That's all I'm going to leave it at there, baby. Final shout-outs, I think. You did the final shout. You did the shout-outs. We're good there. Man, shut up in the house here. Gunner87. Exactly. Bargain shopping and free agency, that's the Jerry Jones way. That's what happens. Wait. I hear you. Translation, I know we need to get the fuck out of here. Thank you all. 30,000 subscribers strong.
Dented can section of the free agency.
That's where the Cowboys shop every time. All the time. Anyways. And sorry, bad intentions. You got to read up on the no trade clause. You'll find out it's up to Dak Prescott, no one else. You don't go around the no trade clause unless the player wants to be traded. And Dak does not want to be traded. Now you got to come up with a different narrative, bad intentions. You got to come up with a better intention, bad intentions.
Yeah.
And a factual intention. So don't be delusional. You don't be delusional. You gotta know your football a little bit here. No trade clauses can't be delusionally just worked around. The player has to say, okay, I'm done with this team, trade me. Dak is not there. He's not going to be there. He'll probably never be there. So accept it, swallow, take your medicine, and then say go Cowboys if you want. Guys, thank you all. I hope you had a great weekend, even though it really sucked when it comes to the Cowboy side of things and us not playing. But I appreciate the family side of things here on this channel. 30,000 subscribers deep and rolling and growing and keep going. So, baby, without further ado, all right, why don't you let me know, let everybody know, why the hell for 6.5+ years, right here on My Cowboys Family, right here with our little new and improved little people, I guess you can say. I don't know. But tell everybody why we do what we do here at My Cowboys Family. Why do we do this every fucking night?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Even when we're tipsy. Guys, thank you, yes. Here in MCF, win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, 30,000 subscribers and beyond. No matter what, we rep that star over everything. Here in MCF, here at My Cowboys Family, 6 years on YouTube, 6.5 years and beyond on YouTube. Never forget, here at My Cowboys Family, the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, never forget it. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. But we gotta wait another fucking year. Probably more, since Jerry wants to go all in with this team. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys again, dropping your knowledge in the chat about the, you can say about commitment, about this player, that player. It's about accountability. So thank you all for dropping your thoughts on that. Appreciate even if we disagree, we want that 6 and beyond together, if you're a real fan. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that, guys. Of course, cannot say enough about your drops of love from above. Tonight, specifically, your drops of love included shots. And not from above, but inside. So thank you for that as we celebrate the 30K and beyond. And as we wrap it up and clock out and drop out of here for the night, baby, before we can relock and reload for a whole new week tomorrow, a new show, tell everybody what we got to do before we drop out of here for the night.
We got to drop the beat.
The beat has been dropped. And thank you guys for dropping in here with us again and enjoying another Cowboys chat right here in MCF, My Cowboys Family. A little tipsy style tonight, right? Yes, guys, here it's a wrap on the Cowboys chat. And the only intense guy, the only guy that brings that passion and intensity that we need on this screen, the only guy is Jimmy Johnson. Yep, I said it, over Jerry, Steven, over Mike and Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn, over Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons. The people that show the true intensity and passion, Jimmy Johnson. And that's what we're missing from this team. That's what we've been missing with this team since 1994. 3, 4, whatever. Since Jerry's been gone. But 30 fucking years. Case closed. Here in MCF, it's about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here at My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house. I'll see you back here tomorrow for a new week. Don't forget to hit that like for the stream. Hit subscribe and keep growing. 30,000 subscribers and beyond. Right here in this little channel called My Cowboys Family. So hit the like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us on YouTube at My Cowboys Family. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter and all social media. I'm fucked up. Follow us on Twitter and all social media at My Cowboys Family. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one, guys. A new week. Stay safe. Much love. Peace. And never, ever forget. Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.